Right, morning everyone. Okay, so that's the last bed I dug, and there's the pathway coming in. That's the squash I'm leaving for now, and this is the semicircle pathway. It comes right in from there, right around here, right around that bed, right around there, and all the way down there, which I've just dug today. Right, I'm standing on the middle bed, and thought I might be able to get a better view here. Basically, pathway comes up here, round the top edge of the beds, all the way down here, and all the way over to that side. That's the legs. That's my legs done. Remember, these beds are in effect no dig. Those beds have not been dug. It's the pathways that have been dug, and I feel sorry for the billions of little insects or whatever is inside them, but I tried not to kill any worms. I've put them back in the soil. These beds will be no dig beds. These beds that have been covered over, they're the ones that have had a cardboard weed barrier put on top of the turned over soil, and then the mulch of the straw and horse manure. And then to stop the foxes digging in there, I've put the pallets on top, or in that case I've just put bricks and a mesh. But the focus of today is to take this massive unused raised bed apart, and I'm going to reuse the wood obviously where I can. First of all, I've got to take all of this out, all the junk, pile it up over there at the back of the plot. I'll give you an update as we go, guys. I think in the bottom of there is a load of what should we say, wood chips, leaf mould, compost at the bottom, from what the gentleman was saying, the current plot holder. So I might be able to make use of some of that once I've got everything out and the wooden structure taken apart. Is that battery running out already? I think it might be. Yep. Right, I've changed the battery. This is the final cut, hopefully. Take those apart later with the crowbar. Right, what I've got here, guys, just discovered there's a lot of sort of mulchy sawdust and starting to break down. I picked out tons of couch grass that was just growing through here. I don't know, must have got any at the edges or something, but all this stuff, this is mulchy sawdust with a few annual weeds in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it, pick out the weeds. This will do for mulch. See, it's still got couch grass growing in there. See that? But I'm gonna, bits of turf, but I'm gonna save that in that great big dumpy bag. And then I'm going to reuse it as mulch. There we go, guys. These very large dumpy bags, half full, are extremely heavy, and I've done 3 of them. Another one over there. That's the mulch, kind of straw and that sort of thing, rabbit poo or whatever it was, that came out the bottom of that bed. And as you can see, I've now taken that all out. I'm going to save that. I'm going to use that as mulch. And I'm ready to take up the plastic, pull this back for the first time. There's loads of couch grass still not dead under here, and you can actually see where that worm is making its way back in, but you can see all the wormholes that the worms have been making under there, believe it or not. Bits of couch grass still trying to make its way in, gets everywhere, so I'm going to try and dig that out. See all the wormholes? That was underneath the plastic, so they are trying to get up, but they can't go any further. So that's what it looks like with the plastic sheeting off. And believe it or not, there is some kind of purpose and structure to this mess at the moment. So you can see, I don't know if you can see very well, the rest of the bed's over there, pathway coming around here. This is going to be another bed here, and then a pathway down here. I'm not going to dig this bed, I'm just trying to get some couch grass up. Right, a pathway up from the bottom of the curved path, you can just see it there. And then we've got a long bed here instead. Again, not dug, just turned over from the pathway on the side. And here it's not quite level, but let's see what happens. Got quite a bit of mulch in these 3 large bags from the pathway. Don't know if you can make it out here, guys, but that is going to be the path all the way up the side of the plot. And this is where the curved pathway starts. Here. And this is the new bed I put in this morning by getting rid of that large raised bed. I've just spotted a tomato left over from the plot holder. I wonder if it's any good. I think it is, you know. I'm going to wash that off and I'm going to have that. So there we go, guys. One morning's work. This is our last bit of cardboard at the moment, but let's take off the sellotape first. I'll start down, I might as well start this end. There you go. That's that bed covered in newspaper, which is the weed suppressant. We had a spare bit of cardboard, which we started with. That's nice and wet. And on top of there, we're going to pile on a load of the mulch we found yesterday. Yes, it's going to have annual weeds in there, I know that, but what we want is to stop the perennial weeds and the couch grass coming through. Next job is to get this mulch we saved yesterday on top of their newspaper weed suppressant. So I know there'll be some annual weeds in there, bound to be, but on the whole it's generally very good stuff. I don't want to tread on the newspaper, so I'll put a plank down the middle and I'm going to try and walk the plank. There's only a very light covering, about 2 inches. There you go. So I'm scrounging these pallets from around the allotment site. This one is from a unattended plot. If they want it back, they'll have to ask for it. Otherwise, I'm going to use them. Got to stop those foxes digging up that newspaper, because they will. I think we've got enough now. That's 4. Going to give it a good watering and then put the pallets on top. Now I'm putting pallets on top to stop the foxes from digging up the newspaper. That's it. Now I'm going to put some planks of wood down the edges and see how we go from there. That's that job done. Yesterday morning, there's a great big massive raised bed here, taking up too much space, not being any productive at all. And luckily I got my cordless circular saw out, chopped it up, made light work of that, saved all of the mulch that was in here and the compost. It was a couple of inches on the bottom, and then formed this raised bed using the soil turned over from what is going to be the pathways. This morning we've come back and covered this bed in the mulch that we saved yesterday, on top of that newspaper that we put down for the weed barrier. And now we've put these pallets on top just to stop the foxes digging in. That'll let the rain go through over the winter, and hopefully there'll be a nice soft mulchy material for us to plant seedlings into, transplant seedlings into next spring, once I work out what to put in here. Hope you've enjoyed what I've done this week. There's plenty more to go. We'll see you again soon on Marky Big Smoke. Cheers everyone, thanks.